Welcome to Through the Drama. Kris Harrison and Lauren Zima with you on this Tuesday. Hope everybody is having a great day. Thank you so much for being with us. Elsie, how are we doing today?
Well, I'm doing well, but we did something we've never done before last night. We watched Love Island. Now, I will say we're episodes behind, but I launched into this season with our daughter Taylor. And, you know, it had been years since I will admit I've tried watching a different dating show. Maybe I didn't want to. Maybe I was worried it would be triggering. I don't know. But really interesting to kind of see what is working right now because I don't know. No shade to The Bachelor, but I will say I think Love Island is making way bigger stars than The Bachelor world is right now.
It's definitely it's what everybody is talking about. I was at a dinner last night and I walked in on you guys watching the show and sat down and started watching it with you. And it is interesting, obviously. I try to watch a little bit of everything just to get a little perspective on what's being produced out there and how it's being produced. And it is very hard for me to take off those glasses and just watch a show innocently.
I know.
I just see so much production behind the scenes and I know what's being asked of them. I know what they're being told to do. I was impressed with some of the creative decisions they made on trying to throw people off the scent of the storylines, et cetera. But it's a good show. It's a very well-produced show. I think they're doing a good job. I remember watching it early days and of USA, the USA version, not the UK version. I remember thinking it's a little rough and it's not as entertaining as it is now.
Everyone's saying that last season is when it found its stride. They're on their third host at this point. They brought in Ariana Madix after the scandal of Vanderpump Rules last season, which I think was a smart choice in terms of getting eyeballs on it. I always thought when it was on CBS, the American version a few years ago, I remember thinking this needs to be able to be raunchier. Yeah. This isn't a network show. It is actually a streamer show. One observation I had last night, I do think Love Island is doing something well that The Bachelor never mastered, which is they are showing, and part of it is maybe they have more time, but they're showing the development of friendships between the cast members and just letting those conversations play in a way I don't think The Bachelor ever did. Bachelor Nation came out with some of the closest friendships we've ever seen from reality TV stars, but you guys didn't really show those happening and developing.
They didn't. I think they were a little misguided in that too. But I think they found their stride as far as that's concerned, probably in Paradise, when we started seeing, the multiple friendships and multiple relationships being created, and that show is more conducive to that. But you're right, we could have shown a lot more. I always told people the most disgusting and the most fascinating thing about The Bachelor was the bathroom where the ladies would get ready, because it's a house. It's a real house where real people live. We actually know the folks that live in the Bachelor mansion. And it was, you needed a hazmat suit to go in there, but there would be 20 women getting ready in the big bathroom, and that's where the action was taking place.
And Love Island shows that. They show the girls, they made a much better bathroom, a bigger bathroom, but they have makeup stations and they show the girls talking and getting ready. And that's where they're talking about their interests, and they're kind of getting into arguments because they're friends, but they're competing. And I thought The Bachelor should have shown this 100%. And I think The Bachelor was always maybe, instead of letting a moment sit, there's a fear on network television of we don't want eyes to go away. And so it was like, let's take them on a date now. Let's do this now, instead of what are they really talking about? Yeah,
no, I agree. And it was a good show. I think I was a little reluctant to dive in when I came in last night. I'm like, okay, I'll watch this.
It's hard to watch work. Yeah, that's always a struggle for me. It's hard to watch what you do for work. Okay. Moving on to a bit of a deeper topic now. What kept us up last night? Both of us talking about Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's making headlines lately for his social media posts. Almost everything he's posting as of late, he captions with a middle finger emoji, talking a lot about his anger issues, his trauma. And I think fans are a little worried. And I wanted to ask you right off the bat what you think about this, because I know you knew Justin Bieber and his mom a little bit.
I met them, and when I say knew, not friends at all, but and I got to know his mom. She was nice enough to bring Taylor to a couple of concerts, and so we spent a little time together. And so I saw a little bit behind the curtain, and it just makes me sad.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad because, I look at this, I know he's a young man now, he's not a child. I think we all just still look at him as a child. And there is so much pain here. I don't see the anger, I see pain. I see a young man just struggling to keep his head above water.
Let's bring up his Instagram and just read some of the latest of what he said in this post. He said, "People keep telling me to heal. Don't you think if I could have fixed myself, I would have already? I know I'm broken. I know I have anger issues. I tried to do the work my whole life to be like the people who told me I needed to be fixed like them, and it just keeps making me more tired and more angry. The harder I try to grow, the more focused on myself I am. Jesus is the only person who keeps me wanting to make my life about others."
You've covered him for years, and on Entertainment Tonight and all that. This shift is discernible.
This is, he's had his ups and downs when he was a kid and the paparazzi was following him. I always felt so bad for him because the child stardom life, no one will tell you that was a breeze. And he was more famous than anybody on the planet at a certain point. But I think that what strikes me about what he's saying is it's painful. It's also self-aware and aware of maybe a problem we're all having right now. Like he's talking about how, well, everybody keeps trying to tell me to fix myself, but all I'm doing is like sort of hating myself more. One thing that's helped me a lot is to help others. And he kind of talks about that. And I actually think he's right about that. Yeah. We all live in a very self-focused society. But what scares me a little, and it wasn't just this post, it was another one where he talked about, he shared text messages he'd exchanged with a friend. And he said, "I'm traumatized." And I think there's something here that I don't know if he'll ever share publicly, but he's starting to hint at it.
Yeah.
It has me worried. It's very scary in the social media world to watch people go through a breakdown for all of our eyes to see.
Yeah, it kind of smells of Britney Spears even, where you're just watching this go down the drain and you just wish there was a father figure, someone in his life that could just grab him, take him, get him away from LA, get him away from all this. Even though I know he's a husband and a father now himself, but he definitely lacks that in his life.
Well, I didn't want to talk about this on the show until this point because I didn't want to speculate, but now he's out here saying, "I'm traumatized, I have anger, something is going on." So we are wishing Justin the best. And when we come back, a little bit of movie news, including 2 stars of one of our favorite movies of all time. Well, they're questioning Netflix's newest version. That's when we come back. We're back with a period drama to go through. So one of my all-time favorite movies, Pride and Prejudice, the Keira Knightley version with Rosamund Pike. These 2 stars reunited for Vanity Fair's interview series. And it's just this adorable, like they're so British and proper and they just catch up with each other in the calmest way.
Never seen it.
What?
This is a bomb I wanted to drop on you live on TV today. I've never seen it. It's a true story. And what's funny is you and I have never talked about this. We've never talked about watching this together.
What?
Yeah.
If there's one thing I had confidence in our relationship, it's that when we walked down that aisle together, you had seen every romantic movie that I cared about.
And what's wild,
I didn't even think we had to address this issue.
And I'm such
it felt unspoken.
I know.
What?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say something before now?
I should have said this in our vows, huh?
Yeah, this should have been disclosed.
Babe,
to me
I love you, and
any
I've never
papers
seen
were signed.
Keira Knightley's version of Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, what have you been doing with your time?
Probably rewatching The Martian or Moneyball with Brad Pitt.
Oh my God. Bachelor fans everywhere are questioning you. Why haven't you seen it?
I don't know, because we've never done it. We need to do that tonight. That's our goal tonight.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Well, this completely changed everything about the way I thought this conversation was going. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let me reset. Wow. Okay. I've watched this with Taylor, with our daughter before.
Is that true?
Yes.
I didn't know that either. I wasn't invited to that. Just like Love Island, the Love Island party last night, wasn't invited to that either. Had to crash it. But
I'm having a hard time. Let me reset. Okay, let me reset. And my British accent was so good, and now I'm just on a different wavelength. Okay, we're going to watch that. It's one of the best movie adaptations of all time. It is universally acclaimed.
Yes.
In this interview series, Keira Knightley notes that, she says after Pirates of the Caribbean, she was a star, but people didn't know if she could act. This movie changed her whole career, showed people she could act. Okay, let's play a little clip, though. Where they talk about how Netflix has announced a new version of Pride and Prejudice.
No, And I think I can't believe that they're daring to do another one for Netflix, because and even now when I see it, even when you see something, even a clip of it, I marvel at what you did. I really do.
I don't think they sound totally on board.
They don't. You know what struck me too? I haven't seen the movie, but I did know this is such a iconic role for Keira Knightley. I didn't realize she was 19 years old. Mm-hmm. Pirates actually had come out before that. So she was like 18.
So young in Pirates.
She was 17 when she did Bend It Like Beckham. I guess I just don't remember her being such a young woman when she became such a huge global star.
I think she's one of those people who's always carried herself a little bit older. She has a very timeless face and she looks a little older than she is. But she's talked in the past about how even, now I'm talking Pirates, but on the Pirates posters, they enlarged her chest, like sexualized her, and she was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
But this got me thinking about, we talk about the remake thing a lot. I will say, unusual take from me. Mm-hmm. But I actually disagree with Keira and Rosamund here. I agree if they're going to do a new Pride and Prejudice, it better be good because this is the standard it's being held to. Right. But their version wasn't the first one. Like there was a Colin Firth version in the 90s. This is such a tale as old as time kind of story. I think it deserves to be redone over and over.
I want to ask you a couple of questions because, I think it's interesting. They weren't unknowns, but they were young, up and coming stars. And that's what this kind of adaptation is going to do. It's going to create new stars. What is your take on it being a 6-part miniseries adapted to Netflix as opposed to another release into the theaters?
I think it means it won't hit as much.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense for Netflix, but movies stick with you in a way that it's harder for shows to, especially a 6-part miniseries. Yeah. If you have a show you watch over years, like Game of Thrones, okay. But a miniseries is hard to stick. Also, the people starring in it, Jack Lowden of Slow Horses, who we love, and Emma Corrin, I think, who was on The Crown. Yeah. They're a little bit stars already. But I will say what's interesting now is that years ago, we couldn't you could go rent a movie, but you didn't have the same, like, new generations would see the old stuff and love it. What's interesting now is Taylor, our daughter, has seen Pride and Prejudice. She can stream it in the drop of a hat. So she still loves that version. So I'll be interested to see how well the miniseries does because people have access to the older stuff so much more quickly than they ever did before.
Well, there is an incredible movie, maybe the best rom-com ever made.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we're pivoting. Thank God you've seen this.
I've seen this maybe 1,000 times.
Let's talk about a movie that actually was in our wedding vows.
Notting Hill. And the writer, Richard Curtis, actually, he and Julia Roberts are still very good friends. And he actually came out and said that he was writing and coming up with the idea of a sequel where Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts get divorced. And Julia was not on board with this. She's like, that's just not going to happen.
I think that was the right call.
You do.
You wanted to see them get divorced?
No. Oh, I thought you were talking about the right call was to do another movie.
Right call from Julia.
I don't want to see them divorced. In my mind, that movie ended perfectly on the park bench, the baby, the whole thing. No, don't mess with it.
No. Well, these two recently reunited for his daughter's birthday, which is kind of why they're in the news again. And I think it's so sweet that they're still friends. I got to call People Magazine out a little bit because Kris and I realized they have this headline wrong. Yes. He was not the director. No. Richard Curtis is the writer, People Magazine. And then their headline, they say she reunites with Notting Hill director. The director is actually no longer with us. He passed. But interesting to me with that, because Richard Curtis being the writer, if anybody was going to do a good sequel, I'd say, well, he knows these characters. Yeah. He wrote the movie, but Julia told him, don't touch it.
And I read further about Julia almost not doing this film. She didn't love the idea of playing a movie star. She just couldn't figure out how to play the character and didn't love the clothes and that iconic scene in the bookstore, the professing her love, just standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her. She just wore her own clothes so she could feel comfortable that day. But
now we're just talking about how much we love Notting Hill, so I'm glad. I also read in my research for the show that Hugh Grant said he actually never liked his character because he, quote, didn't have balls. He wanted his character to be a stronger dude. Huh. But it all worked. That movie really was in our wedding vows, by the way.
It really was.
I said to Kris, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to marry her. And that movie we both loved separately before we came together.
Came out in 99.
We are watching Pride and Prejudice later. Okay. One movie star to another. Gwyneth Paltrow, I never say her last name right, making headlines for going topless.
For making breakfast.
Yes. Gwyneth posted a clip. She makes these boyfriend breakfasts and kind of shares her recipes where she cooks for her husband, Brad. But this time she's topless and in shorts. And her daughter and other celebrities commented on it. I think Jennifer Garner said, "Can you make me breakfast?" This isn't like sexual, really.
No, that's not. It's just cute.
Well, I have questions about the danger.
Thank you.
You're standing there topless, oil's flying.
I was fine up until
bad burn waiting to happen.
when she started putting the sausage on, and I'm like, wow, yeah, it's like bacon grease or sausage grease coming up. I'm like, that doesn't seem like the area you would want exposed to grease.
No. I'm just worried about Gwyneth, although who am I to say anything? She's a more experienced chef than me, but I also don't know if I feel comfortable. Like, there's something, as a woman, I'm not shading her for this. It's just interesting. I like that she's comfortable like that. As a woman, you're not really raised to walk around in shorts topless, more of a male thing.
Right.
But hey, listen, we all feel a lot more comfortable when we take our bra off at the end of the day or in the morning.
I just really respected the Tuscan villa where she was cooking, and she's been vacationing in throughout Italy, and she was been seen all over Italy, and this is their little Tuscan villa. I'm like, this is impressive.
Well, that's what you do. You go topless in Tuscany.
And by the way, kudos to her because the breakfast looked great. The white beans, the sausage, the eggs, just...
You know what we are? We're talking about it. I want to go look up Gwyneth's breakfast recipe now.
Exactly.
So, one more topic we want to get to, and then we'll go to break. But Eric Dane, star of many famous films. Most recently, he played a sort of very violent and aggressive character. But on the show Euphoria, he got exposed to a whole new generation who now love him. 52 years old, and he has recently revealed his ALS diagnosis. Well, he's talking about it for the first time and shared that he has already lost feeling in half of his body. What did you think when you saw this new interview with him?
It's heartbreaking. Also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, this degenerative disease that affects your muscles and movement. He's lost access to his right arm, and he said he can already feel his left hand, which is his dominant hand, going away. He feels like he has a couple more months. It's horrifying, just terrible.
I really took this moment in as a good reminder because I've probably been thinking about age lately. I don't know why. I didn't mind turning 30, but now in my late 30s, I'm thinking about my age for the first time. Our producer, Deb, is nodding along with me. Thanks, Deb. You get it. But it was a really good reminder that as critical as we are of our bodies, to just be grateful for our health, to be thankful because, he's 52 years old and this disease has just hit him now. We think we're okay. We don't know what's in the future. Right. And I'm glad that he was sharing it because it really made me stop and think, stop slamming yourself. Be thankful for the health you have, that you can move your body now. We don't know where we're going to be in 20 years. So thank you, Eric.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Meghan Markle, she did it again. We'll talk about it next.
Meghan Markle coming to us again from another podcast, even though her podcast season is over. Okay, she's on a new podcast called the Aspire Podcast. And actually, Meghan is telling us all what she wants us to aspire to be. Truth tellers. Let's listen to this first clip.
I wonder if you could rewrite your public narrative from scratch. Is there anything that you would do differently? Yes, I would ask people to tell the truth.
And it's great. I love the question. The host actually gave her the opportunity to be humble, to be reflective, to talk about somebody other than herself. And she said, in this reflection, this is how I want all of you to treat me now.
See, I disagree with you on the question, but I agree with you on the answer. The host was, oh, no, wait, you're right. Okay, I got
I like the question.
You're right.
If you could rewrite the narrative, it was like giving her an out.
Yes, you know why but when you say talk about someone other than herself, what struck me here is the host was saying, what could you have done differently or done better? And Meghan used that moment where as you're putting it, she could have been reflective and she put it on everybody else. Yeah. What would you have done differently? Well, other people should have told the truth. It's such I don't know. I've gone back and forth with this person so many times. When her and Prince Harry's documentary on Netflix first came out, there were some things I related to and understood, but she's lost the way for me.
So here's a clip that I wanted to show because I have some very strong opinions about this next part of the podcast.
You have to be authentic.
Just be authentic. Did you see my baby mama dance?
I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just tell you the timing of that? We maybe watched it like 20 times yesterday.
Good Lord. Good Lord. So here's the thing. If you guys didn't know, so Meghan Markle finally had a very small victory. I mean, she finally had just what seemed like a normal moment. It went viral. She was dancing with Harry in the hospital room or whatever, and it actually made her look like just a normal human being. She can't take the win of just letting it go. She's like, remember when I had that moment? Remember? It's just so cringe, and she just can't get out of her own way. God bless her.
I don't think I've seen interviews with a person in a long time where the word cringeworthy is defined in when I'm watching Meghan Markle's interviews lately. Like, the person is talking about authenticity, and she compliments herself. Oh, did you see my baby mama dance? Like, did you see how authentic I was? It's the opposite of authenticity because it is lacking, like you're saying, humbleness. So I don't know. I'm at a loss. What drives me nuts about this whole thing is I want to root for Meghan Markle. I covered her and Prince Harry's wedding. The air that day, the joy people felt, they were like, this is so cool. An American divorced actress is joining the royal family. She's bringing diversity to the White House. To the
royal family,
palace.
yeah.
It's been such a great moment. And now here we are.
She has sucked the air out of the room, but you have not. And I appreciate you guys watching us each and every day on Through the Drama. We will do it again tomorrow because we have a lot more drama to get through.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, Merit TV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters.
The selection of a new pope.
Entertainment you crave.
Busted.
Everybody in good mood today?
And live events.
Surprise.
What am I, chopped liver?
With serious punch.
Big shot.
Go to merittv.com and download the Merit TV app today.